something that actually transpired across the world of sport, all over the world. And today is not going to be an exception as well, because we're actually loaded. And today we're going to be talking about the game of basketball at the grassroots level, and of course the football as well. The African Cup of Nations is not very, very far away from now. And we have a shocking news from the camp of the Super Eagles. And of course, don't forget the UEFA Champions League, another match day today. And of course, we're going to be looking at the fixture. So like I said, it's a loaded package for you and for your enjoyment. So we're going to start off with talking basketball, in fact grassroots basketball to be precise, and I have somebody in the studio with me, a special guest. You don't get to see her often, but once you see her, you know that something special is actually about to happen in the city of Abeokuta. I'm talking about the person of Onome Akinbode James, one of the biggest brains when it comes to basketball that you can ever have in the country. Onome, we're glad to have you with us on Sports You today on OGTV. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing well. How are you?
You're looking fly.
Appreciate it.
As it should be.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about your foundation, Ready Leader Foundation.
Of course.
What is it all about?
Yes, at Ready Leaders, our mission is to empower kids with skills that help them with their personal growth, but also mold them to become leaders in their societies. So really our goal is we're going to teach you some skill, and then you use that to grow and get molded and get motivated to advocate for yourself, but also to advocate for other members of your community. And that's really our mission.
Yeah, that's great. You have a 3D basketball skills coming up here in Abeokuta. Is that part of the ideology of the foundation?
Yes, very much so, especially because it's a female camp, right? We talked about how most of the C-suite women, about 94% of C-suite women are people that played sports, and the longer a girl stays in sports, the more likely she is to end up in a leadership role. So basketball is like probably the best thing we could do in order to enable girls especially to think of themselves as leaders in their society. It teaches so much: communication, resilience, teamwork, all of that stuff is covered. So really, like, obviously there's a cause that's passionate to my heart because I played basketball, grew up in Abeokuta, played basketball here, ended up playing basketball pretty far, people would say. And being able to give back that opportunity to people, but also giving them that opportunity to learn to lead is really exciting.
Very, very exciting. I love that. But before we go into the project properly, I would like to know more about your career as well. Like you said, you played basketball, and not to the professional level. Why? Because I would see the potential anyway.
I could have played. I had the opportunity to play. I just made a choice that was good for me, I think, in that moment. I had the opportunity to go to Europe and play for like years and years. But for me, I was ready for the next thing in my life. And I think that's the thing with basketball, right? You're not limited to just that. Like, I got the opportunity to go to a great school. I got the opportunity to do a bunch of cool stuff. And now I work as a software engineer in probably one of the biggest tech companies in the world. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. But that's the thing, right? We're molding these kids not to think of themselves as just basketball players. It's just one of it. I could have gotten injured and never played basketball again. So there's always a cut line. It's just where you make that cut line for yourself, or maybe where your injuries make that cut line for you.
It gladdens my heart when I see people actually coming back to give back to the society, especially. I don't like referring to basketball as a lesser sport, but when you look at how the game has been handled in Nigeria, of course you have to just feel sorry, you know, for the player as well. But let me get your thoughts on that. The state of basketball in Nigeria, where we are right now, are you happy?
It could definitely be better. It could be better, and I think.
And the reason I ask is the fact that because when you look at what the Tigers have been able to do, achieved on the continent of Africa.
Yeah, they've been pretty much a dynasty, like 5 times Afro champions, yeah. Right? And the last year in the Olympics, they probably broke the record for the only African team to win a couple of games. So it's excellent that we have tons of good players, both home and abroad, and they're able to bring that to those teams. The problem is we definitely have some work to do with management and being able to retain this talent. As somebody that came out of the U16 pool, right, you would think that we would have a good program to transition into like the adult team or the senior team, and some of that is just not the most, it's not the best experience, let's put it that way. So there's definitely work to be done, but obviously we're resilient people, Nigerians, and we're doing it in spite of the fact that all of this things could be better. Yeah.
Yep, I love that, and especially when I see stakeholders, talk with passion and all of that, it gladdens my heart, But I just love the fact that people are now beginning maybe to come back home and see what they can actually do, to rescue the game of basketball. I'm talking about your initiative, Ready Leaders Foundation. You have 3 days basketball skill clinic, coming up. Can you actually expatiate more of that? I know that you want to try as much as possible, to impart the kids, through basketball. Some of them definitely are gonna, become pro in the future and contribute to the development of the game. But just let us know, about the whole initiative and all of that.
Yes, so 3 days of just exciting basketball. We have some of the top female coaches in the country playing. Actually, most of our staff is going to be female. We have I think 10, 11 female coaches and maybe a couple male coaches. So
why the choice of female?
Again,
these girls are doing well.
Again,
maybe the focus should be on the men anyway.
The men get a lot.
We are struggling at the moment.
I think women in sports is such an underserved community, especially in our society. I remember growing up and starting basketball, and everyone's like, "You're going to look like a man." There's all this blah blah blah. There's a lot of bad PR around women in sports, and I think we still have to do a lot of work there, which is why this is one of my huge focuses. I still hope to extend outwards, but this was a cause that's near and dear to me. I came through the similar pathways down in Nigeria. I'm actually hosting this camp with 2 coaches that saw me pick up basketball for the first time. So it's really exciting. So a lot of basketball skills. We're also having a couple of speakers coming in. And again, the big goal is seeing people do things that make you think, oh, now this is possible for me. For me, that's basketball. For the next 3 days, we'll be talking about how can we get great at basketball and play at the highest level. I played at Duke University, which is probably the top basketball school in America. I had such a great time there. And it's I'll be able to pass that knowledge of how do you get to that point? How are you able to practice, work out? In the next 3 days, we'll do this. But we'll also have people that have done excellent things outside of that come to tell them, hey, this is me, also a woman, who also potentially grew up in your spaces, so grew up in Abeokuta, that's part of why this is hosted in Abeokuta too, it's the hometown. Well, see us that did the same things as you, but also see that there's so much that could be achieved after that.
Is there an age bracket to all of this, or it's just anybody is free as long as you're a female?
So this year's camp is a bit on lockdown. It's 13 to 17 years of age, but we also had invitees. So we have about 40 kids. A couple of them are from in-state, and we have people from about 7 states across the country. I think as we start to get bigger, as we get more partnerships, right now we're self-funded, but when we get more partnership, it would be great to extend it a bit more. So if anybody wants to reach out to us, you can find us at readyleadersfoundation.org. Contact us. We'd be happy to onboard more people.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed actually listening to you. It's good that you're actually doing something like this. It's rare. I mean, we've seen a lot of people, put together initiatives, with football and all of that. And I'm sure you didn't get here by actually accident or on a roller coaster. Is there any probably challenges, obstacles, along the way?